everything. I mean, I got Chevron logos tatted on me right here.
Oh, come on now.
Yeah. So we have a thing called Club 61. We do it every summer, and we bring 5 kids from every NBA city that I've played in, and it teaches kids leadership. So 61 is a big number to us in everything that we do. So the kids come out here to LA, and we teach them financial literacy. We teach them about social activism.
Step 1, Cartier watch. Step 2, escalator spinner. Step 3,
No.
I happen to watch this. Chris got asked
Should we go
the
straight?
worst financial decisions you've made.
Oh, man.
In your best.
Stop, we're gonna get some.
Those were on the
we're gonna
list.
go straight.
Yeah. You got to do
But
it.
you know how that 61
Should we go
comes full
straight,
circle?
please?
So my dad, October, he'll be 63. So I thought about the year that he turned 61. It was really emotional for me.
You realize how young your grandpa was.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Exactly.
Because he was an old ass man to you, right? Same,
What?
Same with me. Yeah.
What?
Yeah.
My dad,
100 years
my
old.
dad at this age will still go out in the backyard and shoot basketball with my son and all
Yeah.
that. And so that's when it really hit me.
Oh, Chris,
that-
I'm getting to the fucking age where I realize, Papa Bob was my age when I was playing there. Like, I'm like grandpa age.
It's crazy to think about it, ain't it?
Yes, yes.
That's the stuff that when you get older, it starts to hit you, especially like even with my mom. I know there's so many different people in the world who got unbelievable stories, but knowing that my mom lost her mom and her dad at such an early age, to me, you know, I couldn't imagine. I'm 38 and I got my mom and my dad.
And she didn't have her mom at that
Orphan.
point.
When your grandpa died, how old was your mom?
She was probably around 31.
So you did some mild shit at the Chevron station, changed some oil and stuff.
Yeah.
Has it occurred to you to have as a hobby to do some mechanical stuff?
You know what? My dad is still crazy about cars.
I should hang with him.
Yes.
Yeah, I'm obsessed.
Absolutely. It's crazy because my teammate Devin Booker, he's Michigan, all that stuff. He's like from Grand Rapids or whatnot, and he has every old school that you could imagine.
Yeah.
And I look at those cars totally different. When I see his old schools, I'll be like, man, I almost want to put it up on the lift. And yeah, because I was just around cars all day, every day. I was telling the story earlier. Me and my wife went to go turn in a car the other day that had been messing up like crazy, and the only way they would do a buyback or something is if me and her both came to the dealership. And so
That's convenient
That's
for
a
them.
very
Exactly.
weird policy. It's customary that we have this whole team come down to the dealership.
everybody got to come out. And so we sitting in there, and this guy comes in there, and I hear him over there talking to a sales rep, and he says, "Hey, I got to get an oil change." So I was just wondering, how long is my car going to be here? Because if it's not too long, I'm going to stay, and if it is, I'm going to just get an Uber and go home. You can see all the cars inside, which is so cool for me, and I'm thinking about how long he about to say about his oil change. He was like, it's going to be a while. I'm thinking to myself, I'll take that long. Just put the car on the lift, put it up, put the big tall funnel under it, unscrew it. So when you unscrew it, you got to unscrew it, and then you got to pull your hand quick. Because the oil going to be hot, it's going to come out, and it's going to drain. And then we used to go, depending on what kind of car you have, it's going to tell what kind of oil we put in it. And depending on the size of your car, it's going to be 5 bottles or it's going to be 6 bottles. I'm in there, and I'm
And you're
just
like, I know.
reminiscing on all of this stuff, you know, and that was...
Hey, I don't know what they're going to tell you, but I can have your car out of here in 40 minutes.
Exactly. But I have such an appreciation for it when I see craftsmen or anything like teaching your kids, right? Things that you think so dangerous. But I remember I would walk out there with my granddad at the full service part. He smacked the car and be like, pop the hood. And to feel under there and figure out how you're going to lift it up or whatnot, depending on what car, if I didn't feel it there, okay, I know it's on the side or I know it's here. And since I was 7 years old, I was doing all these different type things.
Yeah. I'm suggesting maybe you pick it up in your leisure time.
Yeah,
you might connect to something.
I need to. I don't know. It was so hot during them summers, man.
Well, I'd be remiss if I didn't just call out a couple of amazing things from your basketball career. I feel
We
like I
have to.
want
We have listeners. I want to hear it.
I just want to say some things that were pretty impressive. Set the freshman record at Wake Forest for 3-point percentage, free throws, assists, and steals. You punched a dude in the groin. That excites me. You got a little vip and vigor. What happened there?
It's crazy to say that. So let's just go ahead and talk about it. Let's talk about it. So this dude named Julius Hodge. It's the weirdest thing ever. Probably because it's something that obviously anybody in the ACC knows about, because I got suspended for a game.
Right. It was a bit of news.
There's a lot of news. As you've heard me talk about my family and how my family always show up to everything. They always at everything that I do. That's the one game in my whole college career that nobody in my family was at.
No kidding. Oh, that's
one game
that's
in
deep.
my whole college career.
That's deep.
that
What's
my
your
whole family
opinion?
was
Because
at.
I got one immediately.
I'm gonna tell you. So we're playing at NC State. Somebody's on the free throw line shooting. And if you know college sports, people cruel. People will say whatever to you about any and everything. So some students in the front row, they started chanting, "I killed your grandfather."
What?
Oh my.
I can't imagine that this random thing I picked out of a hat ties into this.
No,
Holy
but I'm gonna tell you, so I'm very emotional. And so during the free throw, like I'm on the court, and I look over at one of my assistant coaches, Jeff Battle, and I like got tears in my eyes. And I'm like really mad, really frustrated. Me and Julius Hodge been getting into it. He had tried to elbow me before that. He just missed. I did miss. I did miss. It's crazy because you see it, whatever. I did it, own up to it. When it happened, his family or people tried to come on the court and was like talking and stuff. And that was crazy. It's the one game nobody in my family was at. It was my brother's senior night. And so that happened.
No one kicked those kids out?
You know what?
That's crazy.
Listen, this is the thing. We had Meta in here. In this bizarre, people think there's a TV screen between the bleachers and the players.
Oh no.
And that they act like they can get away with absolutely anything.
I say
like
that all
you're
the
not
time
humans.
now. If you see me in a game now, I'm quick to tell people. I'll be like, listen, you ain't at the zoo. You know what I'm saying? We talk back.
Yeah.
I tell them that with the quickness. We
Yeah.
talk back.
Yes.
And now in the world you live in, people are going to catch it and do all this different type of stuff.
Yeah.
But it was crazy. You know how we won that game? I had the game winning shot to win that game that you're talking about, right? So then after the fact, obviously it was reviewed. Crazy what happens. We actually have to play NC State the first game of the ACC tournament. I'm suspended. We lose the game.
So you paid the price.
For sure. But at the same time, Facebook had started around me. Fast forward after that year, I go to the NBA. Me and my brother living in DC, and I get like a Facebook email from a few students apologizing
No way.
for saying what they said. But listen, I did it.
Yeah.
I absolutely did it. And it is what it is.
Here's my question. So it cannot be a coincidence your family wasn't there. So my question is, do you think it's either they weren't there, which just made you off? They're supposed to be there. They're always there. Like you're just a little off. Something's missing. Is it that? Is it what they're saying about your grandpa, which totally makes sense? Or is it they're not here to see me do this?
I don't think I'm that smart. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
It wasn't like no one's looking, I'm going to let it rip. Let me ask you this. Do you think you would have punched him if your family was there?
Yes.
Okay. So then it's not the third option.
No.
You're being provoked.
That's why somebody be like, oh, would you take it back? Absolutely not.
All right, well, we're not going to talk about basketball then because you just made it very clear. In fact, I'm friends with a Formula One driver, and he said, well, my favorite thing about you is you never asked me about racing. And I was like, okay, noted. And anytime we have like a basketball player in here, we don't talk about basketball, they're so happy. And I get it because you've been talking about basketball for 20 years straight.
Oh, man.
I do want to say, we did have Blake Griffin. What a dude. I love that guy. He could have been in comedy or something.
I'm going to be very honest with you. Me and Blake played together for 6 years. Some of those years, it wasn't the best of our relationship.
Okay.
Seriously.
Because you're both stars?
It was a lot. Different point in our lives, age, all this different type of stuff. But I like to laugh. And so that's what made our team so fun when we played together. Is all we did was joke all day, every day. So we got like an inside joke about a particular movie or whatnot. I was sitting at home and I was watching it with my son, and I seen this clip that me and Blake had laughed to communicated in a while, and I literally like videoed it and sent it to him.
Yeah.
Just because sometimes you grow and you learn and you be like, man, all that shit ain't worth it. And so when we played against Boston, we talked and just realized how much you reflect and you miss these different types of relationships. But Blake is one of the funniest people you will ever meet in your life.
And he loves comedy.
He'd be doing like stand-up comedy
Yeah, he
and
does
all
stuff
that.
with Ben.
Yeah. But when he was here, we talked about the kind of insane experience of playing through the Donald Sterling unraveling.
Yeah, what Blake say?
Well, he said a lot. He said he had the experience where he first went to the team and he got kind of paraded around by Donald like he had just bought him.
Yeah.
And had people touch him and stuff.
When I got traded to the Clippers, it was even different from Blake, because Blake was the number one pick. came into the team, and it was a huge deal.
The
but
truck
they didn't
was
really
down.
win like that, right? So then I get
It
traded
just stopped
to the
and
team.
to the left.
And, oh man, that's crazy. I wish they was here so we could sort of talk about it together. But Sterling had an event over at Beverly Hills Hotel. That's the pink one.
Yep, on Sunset.
Yep, and it was after practice one day. Mind you, I'm new to LA. I've been in Oklahoma for 2 years and New Orleans for 4 years. So I was like, what is this? So you show up, it's like a red carpet. We ain't even played the game yet. We walk into the ballroom and it's all these tables and people there. It's probably sort of what Blake talked about a little bit too. But there's a head table and me, Blake, DJ, probably a couple other teammates, and Benny Del Negro, we sit up there in the front. And you know, of course, we whispering. We all like, what the hell are we at?
Where are we?
What are we doing here? Man, I did not expect us to talk about this. But it's an interesting group of people, and it's like, for real, Sterling had this event to show us off.
With the red light stop.
Because we had started getting so much publicity about us, about Lob City Clippers, what they gonna be, what they gonna do. Sterling said, let me show y'all to my people.
Now it's so obvious and clear that's what was going on.
Hi.
Was it in the moment?
Yeah.
It was.
It was obvious in the moment, but at the same
What's that
time,
feel like?
we didn't really.
What?
Go higher,
Yes.
In the NBA, you have to do a certain amount of appearances and all this stuff like that. So if this was gonna count as one of our appearances, we was like, oh, man, right. Yeah, we in there trying to figure out what the hell this is too.
Yeah.
This might be a cool story to tell on y'all podcast one day. You know,
10 years later.
but I remember there was like a fake Frank Sinatra who came up on stage and sang, and then there was like a Marilyn Monroe who was singing and brought Vinny Del Negro up on stage. Sat him in a chair and almost started.
Did the happy birthday to you, Mr. President?
all that
thing?
all that.
Yeah.
Like, Vinny was our coach at the time.
What a twisted fucking world this Sterling guy
Yeah.
concocted for himself.
So then what was crazy, he went up to the podium to talk, and everybody was still sort of eating and talking. Man, where is Blake and DJ, man? Because I want to laugh, like, and talk to them about it. He basically told everybody to shut up.
He did.
Listen to me.
Yeah.
I own everyone in this room. Shut up.
Oh.
And what was wild is he like brought a guy up, introduced him to everybody. When he brought me up, he was basically saying this is like my introduction to LA. And I'm standing there, he got his hand on my shoulder, and I'm like, what is he about to say? And he was like, isn't he so handsome? He said that to her. Ain't he so handsome? He was like, he's married out here in LA, and I just don't know why. Like, he said this in front of everybody in there.
Oh, boy.
We had some interesting times in them Clipper days.
Oh, my Lord. You must have felt like you teleported to another world.
Man, what was that? That was 2011, so I was, 26 at the time.
But from Joan Chevron to that ballroom, what a bizarre...
Change of events.
Yeah.
But see, that's why it's so great to have real family, real friends. Because when you're going through stuff like that, you got to have somebody that you can tell about and you can laugh about it.
Yes.
Yes, and they can say that's crazy.
What? I got my fellas group chat, right?
Yeah.
Like all my homies that I grew up with. Actually, we leaving Thursday to go on a trip because I play for the whole season. And then afterwards, I'm being dad and I'm doing a book tour. So I try to get 1 week to just go be with my friends that I grew up with from the sandbox, like my homies, and there's no better time.
Yeah.
Yeah,
And
it's
so-
important to do.
Exactly. So everything that's so abnormal in my life, like I was so excited to come over here and meet you and spend this time with you. It's cool to have real people that I can go tell them, be like, man, guess who I was with today?
Yeah.
Stay tuned for more Armchair Expert, if you dare.
Chris, I have this thing where my childhood best friend, Aaron Weekly, since 11, I got sober 19 years ago. He did not. So for 15 of those years, he was still going deep into the hole. And we stayed close, but we're on much different paths.
Right.
He's hammered all the time, doing blow. I wasn't. He got sober 3.5 years ago, and we got back in business, right? So now we go everywhere together, and I can almost only enjoy all this if I'm with him. Last year, I have to do this speaking engagement in Orlando, and I'm like, let's go to the Four Seasons, man. And we go to the Four Seasons, and we're like eating on the rooftop thing, and we're watching the fireworks at Disney World. And I'm like,
oh yeah, I hit the jackpot. Like
Right.
I can see it because us two poor kids aren't supposed to be at the Four Seasons, and look, we're here together.